So I've had a fair bit of time behind the wheel of a Chrysler Pacifica. Now the Pacifica came out in 2017 as a way to distinguish itself from its cousin, the Dodge Grand Caravan. And at the time that that came out, I actually owned a Dodge Grand Caravan, and the Pacifica did a great job at bringing the minivan up to a little bit more higher of a market. Great new design. And again, thanks to txGarage and reviewing vehicles here, I was able to take that brand new Pacifica on a road trip from Dallas to Destin, Florida with my family, and we really liked it and enjoyed it through that time. I was actually really considering buying one of these as the new family hauler and replacing that Grand Caravan. But of course, if you know a little bit of my history here, I did not do that. I actually own the new Volkswagen Atlas. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. A couple of months after we did the road trip with the Pacifica, I actually got one of the new Pacifica hybrids to test out. Really like that as well. And now 4 years later, I'm here with another Pacifica hybrid, the 2020 Pacifica Hybrid. So I'm excited to see what has updated and what has changed. But I can't go any further in this review without mentioning that yes, there is a 2021 model on the way, a new design, more new interior features. If you're interested in that and you'd like to see me review that as well, please leave it down in the comments below. I'll let Chrysler know. I'll try to get one as soon as they're available, and I'll review one of those too. But right now we're looking at this 2020 Pacifica Hybrid. All right, and with that, let's take a quick look around the exterior of the Pacifica Hybrid. So let's start off with the front end design here. You get that nice Chrysler badge right up front. New on 2020, we have the honeycomb grille pattern now, standard on all hybrid models. It's a really nice grille pattern. You get the chrome that goes through the fog lights, chrome that goes up through the grille and the headlights. You have nice stylized headlights with LED daytime running lights. Moving along to the side of this hybrid, you can see right here on the front fender, we have the door for the electric system. We'll get more into that in just a few seconds. You also have those side mirrors with the chrome caps, and those are folding side mirrors, which are nice. The door handles have the chrome strips on those, a big chrome strip around the full greenhouse of the vehicle, and a little chrome strip along the bottom. Those wheels are 17-inch wheels. They look pretty good for a minivan. There are a few different options, but these are pretty nice wheels. And you wouldn't want too much bigger of a size here. That 17-inch wheel with the thicker tire is definitely going to give you better road handling. And really that's what it's about with minivans, just comfort on road. So you definitely do get sliding doors on both sides. Very nice cross-through feature. You've got the keyless entry here, so you can push the button to lock or grab the handle to unlock. And that feature only works for the front door. This back door, if you hit this button, it will open that door for you. Give it one pull, it'll close. Give it one pull, it'll open. But also new for 2020, you have a kick under feature, so you can kick your foot under the door and that will open the door for you in case your hands are full, just like a lot of manufacturers are doing with their rear hatches. And to close, again, you have to pull on the door handle, or there's a small button right here that you can push and get this thing closed. And with that, let's move around to the back and check out what's back here. And around in the back, you get those nice LED tail lamps, very Chrysler feeling, very Chrysler looking. You get that nice Chrysler wing badge, Pacifica badge down here at the lower part of the hatch, and your hybrid badge down there as well. And of course, it's a minivan. There's nothing too crazy going on back here, not too stylized, just a nice clean shape to help the aerodynamics and to allow for a lot of space inside. And we're gonna take a look inside there and see the cargo volume offered here. But before we get any further into the rest of this review, let's talk a little bit about Chrysler, the models that they sell, the trims that are offered in the Pacifica, and then we'll jump back into looking at this Pacifica. All right, so Chrysler does actually offer up two different minivan options. You have the Pacifica and you have the Voyager. Now this is news to me. I just actually found this out through researching what's new for this thing for 2020. And basically the deal here is that Chrysler took some of the lower trims of the Pacifica and rebadged it as the Voyager. So the Pacifica itself is only the higher trims that were offered. So we're not really going to talk about the Voyager and what you can get there. Maybe I'll be able to get one for a review as well. But in this, we're just talking about the Pacifica, and really more specifically the Pacifica Hybrid. And of course, these two minivans in conjunction with the Chrysler 300 are the only vehicles that Chrysler offers here in North America nowadays. So you no longer can get the Chrysler 200. They don't sell any other SUVs. So they really only have two different vehicles to choose from. And that's why I don't do a ton of Chrysler vehicles, because I would just be recycling the same thing over and over. So jumping into the trims here, obviously it's more simplified because the other trims were knocked down into a Voyager. The trims offered in the Hybrid are the Touring, the Touring L, and the Limited is what we're driving here. So we'll talk more about price of this Pacifica Hybrid and the Voyager and the non-hybrid Pacifica. But let's get back into the review and let's look inside this cargo hatch. All right, and as a family man with a good number of kids, this is definitely one of the reasons you would want a minivan over an SUV, is the amount of cargo space that you can get for the size of vehicle, for the price of the vehicle, and with the fuel economy of this vehicle. So there is a ton of space here. Total cargo volume behind this third row is 32.3 cubic feet. To put that into perspective, the Atlas that I own, which has a large cargo volume, has 20.6 cubic feet. The new Hyundai Palisade has 18 cubic feet. The Dodge Durango has 17.2 cubic feet, and the Nissan Pathfinder has 16.2 cubic feet behind their third row. So that 32.3 is a massive number. Now the third row is a 60-40 split, so you can fold those down, and behind the second row back you have 87.5 cubic feet, and if you fold the second row down behind the first row you have 140.5 cubic feet of cargo space. So you can haul a lot of stuff in a minivan if you need to, but usually you're hauling all the kids and you need room for all their stuff. And this back area has that room. When we went to Destin, Florida in this thing, we had it packed with suitcases for everybody. We had it packed with gear for going down to the beach. We had it packed with extra blankets and pillows and stuff for the kids, for the hotel rooms and for sleeping in the car. So we had it packed full of stuff, and you can't really do that and still have the kids in comfort in a lot of SUVs that are third row, unless you're looking at something like the Suburban or like the XL Yukon Denali, which we've taken, or even the Max Expedition. Those obviously can hold a lot in the back because they're massive vehicles, but they're much, much more expensive. So again, one of the main reasons I bought the Atlas over a lot of other SUVs was that 20 cubic feet of cargo space behind the third row. It's a big vehicle that you can fit your entire family and haul a bunch of stuff. But again, if you want that at a really good price, better fuel economy, you'll be looking at a minivan, and the Pacifica is a great one for that. All right, and with that, we'll close this up. There's a button right here to close that down, and we'll go check out what's under the hood. All right, and under the hood here, you have Chrysler's 3.6 liter Pentastar V6e hybrid system. And of course, that is this traditional 3.6 liter V6 matched up to an electric powertrain. Total system power is estimated at about 260 horsepower, and you're pushing that power through the E-Flight electronically variable transmission. So let's talk about what some of those hybrid numbers actually are and mean. So this setup delivers more than 80 miles per gallon equivalent in the city. It has an all-electric range of more than 30 miles and a total range of more than 500 miles. Again, for a family, that is a massive benefit. The less you have to stop at a gas station and fill up the vehicle, the better, especially if we would have had something like the hybrid during our road trip, where we basically could have made it all in one tank. All right, and with that, it is time to close this up and check out those rear seats inside the Pacifica. Again, this is the sliding door that you could kick under, or you can just pull the door handle once. And it's a very easy vehicle to get in and out of. So let's jump all the way to the third row. Then we'll talk about the second row. Then we'll move into the front. Then we'll take it for a drive and we'll start wrapping this thing up. The third row here is actually pretty spacious even for a 6'1" adult like myself. Still got plenty of knee room even behind these seats. Headroom is a little bit tight for me to sit up fully straight. We do have the full 3-panel panoramic sunroof. It's a nice option to have. One of the things I always say is in Texas, the sunroofs aren't all that they're cracked up to be because of the heat coming through, especially in Texas summers. But it's nice to have if you're into sunroofs. My biggest gripe about this is that back here is manual, while up here is a electric. So from the front seats, you can open and close this one, but you can't this one. So if your kids open it and you need to get it closed, you have to climb back here and do that. Back here, you do get a USB charging port, you get cup holders, you get your own AC vents, you get window shades for the windows, great feature there. And despite this having the battery in the floorboard, these seats do tumble and you still get the stow and go features that you would on a normal Pacifica. Let's jump up into the second row. All right, and here in the second row, these bucket seats are a little bit easier for adult living. Still plenty of knee room here, plenty of headroom here. Again, that panoramic sunroof here. You have your own AC controls back here, so your second row can configure their own controls. Your AC vents are here. We also do have the sunshade here. You also do get roll down windows, so you have the one-touch auto down window that will roll down into the door. This Pacifica is equipped with the Uconnect Theater, which gives you these two 10-inch screens on the seat backs. These are great for the kids. They can watch movies here. There's a Blu-ray player up front. You can also play games here. There's also a cool app called Are We There Yet? So if you have something programmed into the navigation, they can actually track and watch where we are. You also have an HDMI hookup, a headphone hookup, and a USB port. You also get 2 wireless headphones and a remote to control it, and there's nice pockets in the seats for those. So really being back here in these back seats is a place to be. One of the small gripes that I always have with these infotainment systems is that basically the kids in the third row are completely left out. Obviously, with these panoramic sunroofs, you can't mount a screen up here. So if you've got 2 kids up front playing or watching a movie, the kids in the back seats are either having to kind of look around to get there. Also, you only have 2 wireless headphones, at least equipped here. So if the 2 kids in the front are listening, the kids in the back are not. So that can cause a little bit of friction for families sometimes, but there's not a lot of vehicles that do it much better. The only other option is having it up on the ceiling and having a big screen that drops down that everybody can kind of see. But then you would lose a lot of the functionality of playing games back and forth. So it's a bit of a trade-off. And with that, let's jump out and get into the front seats and check out the rest of the interior. All right, and this interior color is mocha and black with deep mocha accents. I think it looks really good. One of the best interiors I've seen in the Pacificas to date. So that's really nice to see. And it carries through all the way to the back, as you've seen. The front seats, the middle seats, and the rear seats are all really nice. This driver's seat is 8-way power adjustable. It is heated and ventilated with memory settings, which is great for families. And as you saw in the rear of the vehicle, you do have a tri-zone climate control, so you can set the driver's, the passenger's temperature, and the rear passenger's temperature all separately. Again, really great for hauling families. The kids can set it to where they like it. Mom and dad can set it to how they like it. Or if you're the only one driving it, you can turn off the rear passengers and just have it blowing up front. And of course, we've already mentioned this panoramic sunroof a few times, but it can be pretty nice. It opens up all the way back. It can tilt up and it can slide back. And I was just messing with these buttons right here to open and close that panoramic sunroof, but you also have all the buttons here to open your hatch, to open the side doors, to lock those side doors from opening, and your map lights here. You also get a nice fold down sunglass holder and a mirror to help you see what's going on in those rear seats. And the infotainment system here is the Uconnect 4. This is an 8.4-inch touchscreen display up front. You do get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have lots of cool features with Uconnect Theater, and you get a 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot. And I think one of the cool features that you get with the Uconnect Theater is that you can actually watch the movies up here on the front screen too, as long as you're in park. So you can kind of see where the kids are, and if you need to jump into one of their screens to be able to help them get it started or something like that, you can do that. So you can select which screen you want to jump into and help them control, which is a super good feature because trying to help a kid in the rear seat figure out how to get a movie started while you're driving is not a fun thing to do. Another bit of tech here is the 7-inch full color driver information display. I'm a pretty big fan of full digital displays, but this does have 2 analog gauges with the display in the middle, and you can toggle that display to show you different types of information that you might want to see, including your trip information, some hybrid information here, driver assist features, some vehicle info that you can scroll through, and your speedometer front and center. We also have the 20-speaker Harman Kardon surround sound system, which sounds really good in this thing. So if you're into listening to music or you want to blast one of these movies really loud inside the car, you can do that. So the Pacifica does have some of the latest and advanced safety and security tech, offering more than 100 standard and available safety and security features, including a 360 camera, park sense parallel perpendicular park assist, adaptive cruise control with stop and go, and forward collision warning plus. And here's a look at that 360 camera. Really great to have. So you got a good backup camera, and then you can see fully around the vehicle. Again, this isn't a hard vehicle to drive or park, but having the security of knowing that you're parked well or you're not going to hit something is good. You don't have to worry about the kids opening the doors and slamming it because these are sliding doors of a minivan. One of the other great benefits of having a minivan as a family, you don't have to worry about your kids slamming the door into another car or anything. But again, it's great to see a 360 camera equipped in the Pacifica. All right, with that, let's put it in gear and take it for a drive. All right, so first of all, the gear shifter is the rotary shifter that you'll find in a lot of FCA products. It alleviates the need for a big shifter in the console or even the shifter that was up here in the older minivans. It's just a nice, easy way to use it and doesn't take anything away from any kind of driving experience. So I can tell you that this does have a pretty seamless driving experience for a hybrid. There's not a lot of difference between driving it with the electric only and driving it with the engine running. It can run with just the electric power, and as you get up and go, that gas engine kicks in, and that's a pretty seamless transition. That 260 combined horsepower is really good to get this thing up and going, and as it's a low vehicle, you don't have a lot of body roll coming through corners. It handles itself really well, which you're not going to be taking this on a circuit or anything, but when it really counts for keeping your family comfortable and safe, this thing does drive really well. All of the driver assist features are really good in this car as well. I really appreciate the radar guided cruise control, especially if you're going to take this thing on road trips. It's nice to just get up on the highway, set that cruise to lock into the driver in front of you, and let the cruise control do most of the work. And it's been a few years since I've owned a minivan. It's been a few years since I've even driven a minivan, and there's definitely an appeal to it even for a guy. It is a smooth driving, easy to drive vehicle. It's still pretty big. It feels very comfortable on the road. Again, you do get pretty good power, and as a family man, it's always nice to know that your family is riding in comfort with plenty of room and not complaining because they have plenty of stuff to do in the car. All right, and with that, let's find a place to pull over. We'll talk about the price and competition here, and we'll wrap this video up. All right, so the starting MSRP for a Pacifica is $31,609. The Voyager that I mentioned has a base price of $26,985. The Pacifica Hybrid has a starting MSRP of $38,100. Obviously, you're paying a premium for that hybrid power plant. And the MSRP of the one that we're in here is $50,230. Now, obviously, there are a few minivans on the market that you can compare this with. I don't think that any of them are really bad minivans. The Toyota Sienna is really nice. Kia's minivan is really nice and one that I definitely recommend checking out. You also have the Honda Odyssey that's really nice. We've even taken a look at a few cargo passenger vans, stuff like the Mercedes Metris, the Ford Transit, even the Mercedes Sprinter, which I wouldn't really compare this at all. But there's a lot of great options for families out there. If you're looking for a minivan, I would definitely take a look at the Pacifica, and I really like the Kia minivan. But with that, let's hop out and close this thing out. So if you're a family and you're looking for a hybrid minivan, the Pacifica is actually your only option. If you don't really care about that hybrid powertrain and you're just looking for a minivan, the Pacifica with the Pentastar V6 is still a really good choice. And if you don't care about a lot of the flashy stuff on the interior and tech as much, you can even check out the Voyager. With that, I think this is a really good option for families. It's got great tech, it's got great interiors, it's got a great drive, and just overall a really good look. All right, guys, well, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Pacifica Hybrid or the Chrysler brand as a whole. I'm really interested to hear your guys' thoughts. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. All right, and before I let you guys go completely, I did want to urge you to go and check out txGarage.com. If you haven't already, txGarage.com is a website dedicated to Texas automotive enthusiasts, or basically just anybody looking for automotive news, reviews, and event coverage. We have a lot of different contributors from all over Texas, and we cover a wide range of topics. You can subscribe to the newsletter there. Really great stuff. Definitely go check it out if you're interested in that. Also, if you want to support us on social medias, you can do that with links down in the description. We're also on a site called locals.com, and this is kind of like a Patreon-like site. So if you go to txgarage.locals.com, you can sign up. You can get special content from us, and you can pay a small fee that will allow you to actually help us out. That money doesn't go into my pocket or anybody else's pocket. That goes straight back into producing more content for you guys and getting it out to more people. So if you're interested in that, you really like what we do here, please consider checking us out over at Locals. And with that, I promise, guys, that's it.